ambassadors, right? What kind of training, so who will be the trainers, and then how are you going to carry out the training program?
Well, I think, like right now, I think there's a bit of problem with the admission process. I would first speak to some of the admission office or admission tutors at different colleges and to see like if they can actually negotiate the requirements with the diplomas and actually see like clearly about how like which countries actually have diplomas that are not commonly accepted, and like if they don't have the commonly accepted diplomas, what kind of alternatives that they can have instead of A-levels or European diplomas, and try to communicate about those informations with the people who want to do the ambassador trainings, because well I was thinking about doing it either in Japan or China, and I spent hours thinking how I can actually do it, say in Japan, because high school diplomas are just considered as completely non-accepted, and I spent hours and hours thinking, and I just thought maybe ambassador trainings which would focus on kind of those things would be helpful. So I know I need to collect more information from admission tutors, but I'm willing to talk to them.
Okay, so as in get information about like what is the further like training, like the students, like what they need to come over here, and then with those information, like what can you do? Like I don't really understand. So if you know like, okay, so they have to do like an entry exam or something like that. So after you know about all this information, and then how are you going to help the ambassadors when they get back to their countries with those information? Like, are you thinking of, I don't understand I don't really understand your point. Like you say that you're going to ask the admission tutor about like what is the requirements and everything.
Yeah,
so with those information, so how are you going to help the ambassadors when they get back to their country? So basically you're saying like you're going to provide them with information, or are you trying to like train them to go back and train their people?
Oh, well, like the area I can help can only like be done in here. Like I won't be able to help them when they're actually in their country, but I'm planning to help like hold workshops while they're in Cambridge, and so that they know what to do. Like they won't have to spend hours thinking how they can actually personalize it to their own country. So like I would hold workshops while they are in Cambridge, so they can go back and carry it out easily.
Okay, so for the workshops, who do you think?
Please.
Sorry?
Last question.
Oh, okay. For the workshop, so who do you think, are you the one carrying out the workshop? Like, do you think you are qualified enough to carry out the workshop, or who do you want to bring in to carry out the workshop, to like teach them, to like train ambassadors?
Well, if possible, I don't know what's the, like how much the university would allow it, but if possible, I would like to ask some admission tutors to come in and actually speak to the ambassadors, and if they think that's beyond their job, then I would try to get as much information as I can and try to deliver it myself, or recruit some volunteers who like to help among the students.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, any questions?
Yeah, okay, so I know it's a very hard question, and it's not really up to us students to really decide upon that because it's such a hard issue, but one of the reasons that I think that many people, like especially from the international atmosphere, like environments, don't come to Cambridge is obviously because of funds. Like we all know that. Well, I'm like I'm a European international, so like I pay the same. I pay UK fees, but for you, everyone else, like it's very expensive to come, and there are not really many scholarships or funding that you can really access as an international, because most are based for UK students. So how do you want to work with the university to maybe create more opportunities for internationals that don't have that amount of funding?
Okay, actually that is a very huge responsibility for me to negotiate with the university, because they also need their funding, they have their financial statement to fund this university. But what I would like to do is like, because I came from Singapore, and what is happening in Singapore is like most Singaporeans who came to Cambridge have their scholarships back home, which means that if I got this, for example, scholarship from this Ministry of Education. After my education is fully funded by the government. After my education in Cambridge, I could go back to the Ministry of Education to work for a few years. that is called a bonded scholarship. So what I would like to do is like I may have advice, I may suggest like different companies or different government ministries to have this similar scholarship scheme. I find it very useful because it has funded so many of my friends who would never come to Cambridge if it's solely funded by their parents.
How do you think you are going to attract the people to join ICUSU Access? Because the problem with this is that we organize a few events and then but the turnout is usually quite bad comparatively to other social events. So what do you think you can do to attract them to like what's the incentive that you can give it to them? Like we're not giving them any like awards and anything for doing this program. It's all based on their own initiative. So what do you think would be the best incentive?
Okay. For me, for example, if I decide to go on a program or there's like ambassador program, for me, I would ask my friends to join with me because I don't feel alone. Like that's a common thing. But in this case, I think we need to create this culture of reputation of it's very interesting to join our program because that will actually create a long-term effect on our program. If people just find it really boring, they won't really pass on this to their juniors to join this program, to join us. So what I would like to do is to actually improve on our program, the nature of our program, to make it more fun and to make it more attractive for future batches of students. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. I just want to ask, like, so what kind of event are you thinking of?
For example, for our ambassador program, I think the program is very effective, but I find that like from my friends, it's very hard to make friends within this ambassador program because we don't have a kind of a strong bond. We just attend this training program and everything, but people just don't know each other and we don't have this long-term personal contact. But what I would like to do is like to make this training program more, in some sense, more entertaining by making friends more easily. You know what I mean? Like we could have more like hanging out sessions or just be more personal contact in this case.
I was just gonna say that apart from like the fun side of being an ambassador, what else do you think might stop people from joining? Do you think it might be the financial side, or what do you think is the like biggest obstacle that stops them from being an ambassador and from joining our schemes?
Yeah, and the follow up, like what we can offer to them. Yeah.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Yeah, what we can offer to them to
join our
to
to overcome like those problems. Yeah.
Okay. Just now I remember someone mentioned about this mentorship program from from the current Cambridge students or future Cambridge candidates. I think what will make this program more interesting is that we can make this whole process more fulfilling or satisfying by building this long-term program of mentorship because currently last year I was a mentor to my school junior about this Cambridge application process, and I felt really fulfilled when actually they got in Cambridge because of my help. So I actually want to say that we can have this mentorship program that will bring satisfactory experience to our ambassadors, and I think that is what they will get, and that is what makes them interested in this program as well, because I did so because I thought it was really a rewarding experience.
Okay, thank you very much.